Good morning, students. Welcome to the next new lecture. From this lecture, we are going to start about the syllabus, in which the name of the paper, Modern and Nuclear Physics, in which the first chapter is the photoelectric effect. As we have discussed in the syllabus or in the introduction of syllabus, we are going to discuss in this chapter, that is Lennard's methods to determine E by M of photoelectrons, then Richardson and Compton experiment, a relation between photoelectric current and the retarding potential, then relation between velocity of photoelectrons and frequency of light, then photoelectric cell, that is photoemissive cell, photovoltaic cell, and the photoconductive cell, and finally the applications of photoelectric cell. So all these topics or all these points will be covered in this chapter. So let us start the chapter. What is the introduction? So initially, what is meant by this photoelectric effect? So if you are taking brief history of the photoelectric effect, initially you know that Maxwell has developed the electromagnetic theory of light. Means he has concluded that light is nothing but the electromagnetic wave, and this theory was again confirmed by the Hertz on the basis of experiment. But during his experiment, in the explanation that electromagnetic waves can be produced and detected experimentally, but during this experiment, he observed that the sparks occurred more rapidly in the air gap of transmitter when ultraviolet light was directed on one of the metal ball. Means during his experiment, he observed that the spark is observed more rapidly when the ultraviolet light was incident on the metal ball, but he doesn't know about that event. And later on, Halvok carried out the experiment to explain that concept, that is the Hertz experiment. So by doing his experiment, he has some experimental results. So what are the experimental results? First result was that when ultraviolet light was incident on the neutral zinc plate, the plate becomes positively charged. Means when ultraviolet light was incident on the neutral zinc plate, that neutral zinc plate will be that was converted into positively charged plate. After that, ultraviolet light was incident on the negatively charged zinc plate, then that plate becomes chargeless, or that going to be neutral, means it is losing its negative charge. But when ultraviolet light is incident on a negatively charged zinc plate, then when ultraviolet light was incident on a positively charged zinc plate, it becomes more positively charged. Means three results was there. Three results were there, in which neutral plate converted into positively charged plate, negatively charged plate converted into the neutral plate, and positively charged plate becomes more positive. So from all these observations, from all these results, he concluded that only negatively charged particles can be emitted by the surface under the action of ultraviolet light. Means when ultraviolet light was incident on that zinc plate, only negatively charged particles are emitted, and generally it is the electrons. Means he suggested that when ultraviolet light was incident on a zinc plate, the electrons will be ejected or electrons will be emitted by that plate. So how they are electrons only or negatively charged? Means here, when the neutral plate was there, positive and negative charges were equal, and when we remove negatively charged particle, extra positive charge will be present on that zinc plate, so that the plate becomes positively charged. Next, means from negatively charged zinc plate, when negatively charged particles are removed, means this negative charge becomes decreased. And finally, when electrons are removed from the positively charged particles, it becomes more and more positive. So from all these observation, we can conclude that only negatively charged particles can be emitted from that surface due to the ultraviolet light. So, to explain this concept, Hertz has some experimental arrangement in which it consists of two metal plates, that is A and C, which were placed in the evacuated glass tube or bulb, that is given in this diagram. Here this is the evacuated glass tube or glass bulb in which two plates, this is plate A and this is plate B, they are placed in it, and external potential is applied to this plate with the gallon meter. So here in this circuit we are connecting gallon meter and the external power supply between this anode and cathode plate. Now when the ultraviolet, this is the source of light, or it is the source of ultraviolet light. When ultraviolet light falls on the anode, this ultraviolet light falls on the anode, there is a current in the circuit. So as soon as the light is incident, as soon as the ultraviolet light is incident on the anode, suddenly this galvanometer shows some deflection, means there is a flow of current in this circuit. So this result state that there is an emission of negatively charged particles, that is electron, from the metal surface when irradiated by the suitable frequency. Means when initially without this ultraviolet light there was no contact between this anode and cathode, there is no current in the circuit and there is no deflection in the galvanometer. But as soon as the light is incident on the anode, this anode will eject some electrons, and these negatively charged electrons will be attracted by this positively charged cathode plate, and so there is a contact between anode and cathode, and this becomes some current is flowing through that circuit. So this confirms that when light, this ultraviolet light is incident on this anode, electrons are ejected. So when this effect was studied in detail, this is the that is the light is an electromagnetic wave. This explains that the electromagnetic wave nature of the light is incomplete, so that the light is also have the particle nature, and these particles are considered to be the photons, because when one particle of light is striking on the metal surface, it will eject one of the particle from that metal surface. So that here, according to this photoelectric effect, we have to consider the particle nature of light, and that particle nature of light is considered to be the photons. Now let us take the simple definition of photoelectric emission. So what is mean by photoelectric emission? Whenever a light of or electromagnetic radiation such as X-ray, ultraviolet rays falls on the metal surface, it emits electron. This process of emission of electron from a metal plate when illuminated by the light of a suitable wavelength is called as photoelectric emission or the photoelectric effect. So this definition explains that it is simply when the light is or when a light with suitable wavelength or frequency is incident on a particular metal, that metal will eject some of the electrons. So this process is called as photoelectric effect, means electric effect due to the photons, means ejection of electrons due to the impact of photon. So that this effect is called as photoelectric effect, and this emission of electron is called as photoelectric emission, and the electrons emitted in this process, they are called as photoelectrons. They are simply the same electrons, but as they are ejected under the action of photons, they are called as photoelectrons. So when the light is incident on the metal surface, electrons are ejected, they are known as photoelectrons, and the current passing through this circuit due to these photoelectrons, that is called as photocurrent, or it is the photoelectric current. So generally alkali metals when irradiated by visible light, it emits photoelectron. Zinc cadmium gives photoelectric emission when illuminated by ultraviolet light. Means different metals requires different types of light. Means every metal has its particular wavelength of photon for the photoelectric effect. Means every metal is not suitable with every light. Means every metal surface requires a particular photon with suitable frequency and wavelength. Alkali metals will emit electrons when visible light is incident, and zinc cadmium emit electron when ultraviolet light is incident. Means every metal requires different types of light to show this photoelectric effect. Now, we will consider what is the actual process of this photoelectric effect. Let us consider the atom. So, every material is made up of atom. So, those plates which are showing the photoelectric effect, that are also made up of atom. So, generally, this is the structure of atom, in which central is the nucleus, which is positively charged, and around that number of orbitals are there, in which electrons are filled and they are revolving around that nucleus. Suppose initially I am considering I am having only one electron, and this first orbit is nothing but the outermost orbit, and all the orbits above that orbit are completely empty orbits. Again, every orbit is having its own energy. They are also called as energy levels. So every energy level is having its own energy. Suppose the first orbit or first level is having energy 5 electron volts. Suppose second is of 10 electron volt, it is of 15, and it is of 20 electron volt. Now initially electron is at first orbit, means its energy is now 5 electron volt. Now, suppose I am providing some extra energy, some external energy to this atom or to this electron. So, this electron will absorb that energy and go to the excited state. So, this electron will go to the first excited state by absorbing energy. So, at this stage, its energy will be 10 electron volt, because here it was 5 electron volts, here it is the 10 electron volt. Again I am increasing, again I am providing more energy to this electron, so that that electron will go to the higher next excited state. So it will be at here. Now the energy of that electron will be 15 electron volt. Again I am providing more energy to this electron. Now it will go to the next energy level. This is the next energy level. Now electron is present at this position. Means as I am providing more energy to the electron, it will go to the higher energy level. But again, this positively charged nucleus is having certain limitation of the distance, so that it will attract or it will bound that electron in its orbit. If that electron will be going from this range, out of this range, there is no bonding of that electron with this nucleus. Now, if I am providing more energy to this electron greater than, suppose now at this position the energy of electron is 20 electron volt. Suppose I am providing 25 electron volt energy to this electron. In that case, the electron will be completely out of this atom, because at this position there is a no impact of this nucleus on this electron, because the distance is very much greater. The influence of this nucleus is not present on this electron, so that when I am providing 25 electron volt energy to this electron, the electron will be completely out of the nucleus, and now this electron is considered to be the free electron, and it is ejected from the atom, or it is the ejected electron. So in that case, when one negatively charged electron is removed, this atom becomes positively charged, because positive charge is as it is with that atom. So that when the Removal of electron, this particle or this atom becomes positively charged. So this is the simple process. Now, what is the photoelectric effect? So we know that when energy is provided to this electron, it will be changing its position and finally it will be out of the atom. Again, the number of sources to provide energy to this electron are so much, or there are so many ways. There are so many ways to provide energy to this electron, that may be in the heat form, that may be in the mechanical form, and one of that form is the light form or the photon energy. So the energy will be provided to this electron in the form of photon or in the form of light. So when light is incident on that electron, it will again go to the excited state and finally come out of the atom. So photoelectric effect means when the light of particular suitable energy is given to this electron, the electron will be ejected from that atom, and this is nothing but the photoelectric effect. Means electron is ejected when the photon or the light is given to this electron, or the energy is given to the electron in the form of light, and this process is called as photoelectric effect, and at that time this electron is considered to be the photoelectron. So this is about the photoelectric effect. Now next, laws of photoelectric effect or photoelectric emission. So there are certain laws of photoelectric effect. So basically there are four laws. So first one, for a given metal there is a particular minimum frequency of incident light below which there is no photoelectric emission, whatever be the intensity of incident light, and this frequency is called as the threshold frequency. Means for every metal there is a requirement of particular minimum frequency of light, then only the photoelectric emission will be occur. If the frequency is less than, if the intensity of light is below that frequency, then there is no photoelectric emission, and such a particular minimum frequency is called as the threshold frequency. Means every metal surface is having its threshold frequency. If the incident light having frequency equal to or greater than the threshold frequency, then only the electrons will be ejected from the metal surface, or photoelectric emission will be shown by this metal. Then second law, the strength of photoelectric current is directly proportional to the intensity of incident light, provided the frequency is greater than the threshold frequency. Means here this electron will produce some current in this circuit, and this current is called as the photoelectric current. The photoelectric current is directly proportional to the intensity of light. As intensity is more, the photoelectric current will be more. Intensity is less, the photoelectric current will be less. Means this photoelectric current is directly proportional to the intensity of incident light. But for this there is a condition that the frequency of light must be greater than the threshold frequency, because according to the first law, if the intensity is less than threshold frequency, then there is no photoelectric effect and there is no photoelectric current. So second law says that the photoelectric current is directly proportional to the intensity, provided the frequency is greater than the threshold frequency. Then third law, the velocity and hence energy of the emitted photoelectron is independent of the intensity of light, and it depends only on the frequency of incident light and the nature of the metal. Means here the electron which is ejected from this metal surface due to the action of this photon, this electron is having some velocity as well as some energy. So velocity and energy of this photoelectron is not depends upon the intensity of light. It is not depends upon the intensity of light, but only it is depends upon
frequency of the incident light as well as nature of the metal. Means whatever may be the velocity and energy of this electron, it is only decided by the frequency of light and the nature of the metal surface, but it is independent of the intensity of light. Means intensity of light will not decide the velocity of the photoelectrons. Then last one, photoelectric emission is an instantaneous process. This law says that the photoelectric effect or photoelectric emission process is an instantaneous process, and the time lag, if any, between the incidence of radiation and the emission of electron is never more than 3 into 10 raised to minus 9 second. Means according to this law, the photoelectric effect is the instantaneous process. Instantaneous means there is no time gap between incident of light and ejection of electron. Means there is no gap. As soon as light is incident on the metal surface, at the same instant the electron will be ejected. So if any gap is there, the time gap is there, so that gap should not be greater than, or it should not be more than 3 into 10 raised to minus 9 second, so that this photoelectric emission process is called as the instantaneous process. There is no gap between incidence of light and the ejection of electron. So these are the four laws of photoelectric effect or photoelectric emission. So this is about the first lecture of the syllabus. So we will discuss the next point in the next lecture. So thank you very much.